Welcome back to Big Monday, presented by Bud Light and Southwestern Athletic Conference basketball on ESPNU. We are here at the William J. Nix building in Prairie View, Texas, as the Jackson State Tigers taking on Prairie View A&M Panthers. Anthony Calhoun along with Stephen Howard. Let's take a look at the NCAA news and notes. And how about Louisville, the new #1 team in the AP poll, beating UConn. They trailed at halftime tonight, but they get the win.
Well, after Kentucky won last year, everyone had Louisville with all that talent coming back, being one of the favorites to do some damage once the tourney came around. And Kevin O'Neal, who was at Marquette when I was at DePaul, one of the early casualties of this year. And then Florida playing well, a team that I believe can be in that Final Four. Kenny Boyden going to need to get a little bit better shooting selection and knocking down shots from three, but they have the talent, the defense, to do some damage once the tourney comes around.
The Gators dealing with a lot of injuries down there in Florida. What a game we have here as we get set for the second half. We've had 6 times here tonight we've had the tie score. The lead changes 9 different times between Prairie View and Jackson State. Talked about Nelson, 16 points in that first half. 3 of 6 from behind the arc. And if you're Coach Anderson, you got the lead as we get ready for the second half. What do you believe he told his team as we got a clock problem here?
Well, I think he told them just to keep playing the way they played in that first half. But what I really like about the way Coach Anderson is coaching his team is he had Nelson coming off the bench in the first half. He's keeping with that same formula in the second half. He's sending a message to his basketball team. There's a certain way that we're going to have to play to win Jackson State way, to win the way Tavester Anderson wants to win.
And on the other side, Coach Rim, what do you believe he told his team during halftime?
Well, I can guarantee you he wants to get this game up. He wants to create a track race. He wants to get this game into the 70s. They can't win in the low 60s. They want to manufacture points. They want to speed this basketball game up. They want to create offense off their turnovers.
Having some issues with the game clock.
Got to reboot.
Since we're having some problems here at the clock, let's let you know what's coming up on ESPNU. Super Tuesday on ESPNU features a great college basketball doubleheader. Wake Forest taking on Clemson at 7 o'clock. Then Ole Miss against Vanderbilt at 9. Super Tuesday on ESPNU. And also live on Watch ESPN. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. Teams in the latest AP Top 25 poll. And Big Ten with 6 teams. Big East there with 4. You see the Pac-12 with 3. Not surprised at all to see the Big Ten having 6 teams?
No, I'm not. I mean, the Big Ten, the deepest league by far. Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota. Coach Smith doing a great job with Minnesota. But it's just good to see the Big Ten. Really, I'm excited to see the Pac-12 bouncing back. They've had some down years, and it's good to see them with 3 teams doing well.
Still having some problems with the clock.
But we do not have any problems with our DJ. He's still keeping it going here in the Baby Dome.
There's always a great DJ when you come here to Prairie View. And it looks like we are good to go. There's our DJ. You were a DJ back in the day, right?
No, only in my own room, my own house.
That's right. We have to do an interview with the DJ a little bit later here in the second half. Okay, let's try it one more time. We still have more problems with the clock. Steve, I know you had some time with Coach Rim. How did his team, they were picked obviously to win the conference this year. what message did he send to his team, you know, coming into the season, really high expectations for this ball club to try to win the regular season title and then win the tournament to get into the NCAA tournament?
What really was happening with Prairie View is when they went to California and played UCLA, Prairie View credits themselves with getting Shabazz Muhammad and UCLA going, because after they played them, they just started going on a roll, and that really hurt the confidence of the Panthers when they got demolished by UCLA and Cal.
Munich with the jumper to give the Panthers the lead, 33-32. You're just joining us. We're having some issues with the game clock.
Looks like they just decided to play regardless.
Try to work it inside into Jones, and he turns it over.
And again, with turnovers for both teams in the first half, that was an unforced turnover. Those are the type of turnovers that you can't have. Just neither team taking good care of the basketball.
33-32. Prairie View with the lead early on here in the second half. Here's Blair. Turns around, jumper, and that's good. Carl Blair, the senior from Houston, Texas, averaging 11 points a game, and the Panthers up 35-32.
And Blair's a player that can turn it on at any time. Even last year when he played for OU, first 13 games, averaged 3.1 points, and then averaged 15 over the next 6. So this is the guy that can get it going in the points.
Nice defense by the Panthers. Here's Howard, the jumper. He comes up short. Ball's right in the hands of the Tigers, but great defense by Ellaby.
Oh, great passing by Prairie View, led by the defense by Ellerby.
Scott able to get the basket to go. 37-32. Official timeout. Check that. Jackson State's going to call a timeout. 30-second timeout. The Panthers with a 37-32 lead. We're going to take a timeout as well. Prairie View up 37-32. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Verizon. Powerful answers. We're back here at the Baby Dome. Anthony Calhoun along with Stephen Howard and the entire ESPNU crew. Glad you're with us tonight for SWAC basketball. And we just got word from Keith Kimball, the lead official on tonight's game. The clock is ready to go, so we're set to go. 37-32, Prairie View with the lead, and a turnover here by Jackson State. So, Stephen, give me the reason why the Panthers have been able to regain this lead over Jackson State.
They're playing their basketball. They're attacking the rim. They're letting Carl Blair attack the paint, and they're getting good assists with the ball. But then Jackson State they're helping them out with those unforced turnovers. You saw another one right there with just the miscommunications between the two players.
Ellaby comes up short. Coach Anderson told us today one thing he's concerned about his basketball team is their inability to play complete games. They've usually this season, they've done a great job in the first half. But the second half is where they've had some struggles.
And I really think that's indicative of the majority of the teams in the SWAC right now, because they're really just now, with conference just starting, getting to the flow of conference basketball and finding out where they fit in as a team in the SWAC.
Howard with the much-needed basket for the Tigers.
This is where they need to get that pick and roll action with Blair, getting him attacking the paint.
Looking for Ellaby. Montgomery comes away with the rebound. There's Blair. Montgomery trying to find Blair there, and they turn it over.
And even though they didn't score in that possession, I love the patience. I love the way they worked it around both sides of the court. They got the pass they wanted. Just in that instant, Montgomery just passed it a little bit too low for Blair to be able to get a handle on it. And you see them back in that 1-2-2. Prairie View wanting to speed this game up, keeping it going up and down.
Over here to Howard. Howard fouled, so he's at the line. He's got 2 free throws coming his way.
Really, it's a credit to Prairie View the way that they have defended Howard, something that Howard should be accustomed to, because talking to Coach Anderson, every game he's getting 2 and 3 players on him at all time. Same thing tonight here in the Baby Dome.
Howard coming in, second in scoring in the SWAC, 17 points a game, 7 points tonight. Williams comes down there with the rebound.
What I'm impressed about Howard is last year when he was freshman of the SWAC, he played that whole season with a fractured bone in his non-shooting hand, and for me that just speaks of toughness and why he's going to be a tremendous player for Jackson State.
3 is good by Williams. We're all tied up at 37 apiece.
Jackson State averages 6.4 threes a game, Prairie View 4, and Prairie View has not been able to connect it all from downtown.
Coach Anderson has me wondering right now. You got Nelson on the bench here with 16 points. He's not in the ball game right now. That's a 3 by Dominic.
You just wonder if that's the shot that's going to lift the lid off of the basket for Prairie View and allow them to start making some shots from distance.
How surprised are you not to see Nelson in the ball game right now?
Not really. I mean, the game's not unmanageable. They're only down 3, and this is the game plan that Tavestre, and he's sending a message to his team that, you know, you got to play his basketball, and there's a reason why Nelson is coming off the bench.
Just like that, Nelson's right at the scores table. He'll check in the next dead ball. Here's a 3 by Blair. Here to Lewis. We've gone back and forth here tonight, folks, between these 2 teams. Prairie View got off to a real quick start. Jackson State, had the lead at halftime. 10 to shoot. 5 to shoot. Here's Williams. 2 to shoot. And it's going to go over to Prairie View. Got a timeout here on the floor. 14:23 remaining here in the second half. Williams knocks down the 3 for Jackson State.